All right, so Daniel Jones is no longer a New York Giant. A season which earlier this year we saw him getting booed by his own fan base, not even at the game, but when he was leaving the game, people stayed after to boo him. We now have a situation where he has been released. He actually asked to be released, and the Giants granted his request after he was benched for Tommy DeVito earlier this week. So they decided to allow Jones to go somewhere else potentially. And I find this interesting for a number of reasons. For one thing, from the Giants' perspective, this essentially doesn't do anything bad for them or good for them. It's essentially a whatever move. They benched him. He was going to almost certainly not play for the remainder of the year. So you're moving off of him, and you were going to cut him into offseason anyway. It doesn't save you any money doing it now, but I guess at the very least can send a message saying, hey, we are moving in a different direction. This is what we're going to do. But really, I think they just said, okay, Jones, you want to go somewhere else, you can go ahead. What I find interesting about this from Jones's perspective is, listen, we all have made our jokes about Daniel Jones at one point or another. I still don't really get what the Giants were thinking signing him to a contract that large, but at the end of the day, that's what they decided to do. And and now that we're past this, where does Jones go from here? The comparison I could make would be, could you make a comparison between him and Baker Mayfield, who, of course, Baker Mayfield was with the Browns. He tried to play through an injury and didn't play particularly well while playing through the injury. The Browns moved off of him, and it went great for them. No notes there. But for Mayfield, he goes to the Panthers, struggles. He eventually gets cut from the Panthers, and then he goes to the Rams. He ends up playing relatively well there, including that one great drive, against the Raiders that we all remember. That kind of allowed Tampa Bay to say, you know what, let's bring him in, let him compete for a starting job. He wins that starting job, and the rest is history. Can we see a similar situation with Jones? Well, I don't know if there's a similar situation available, right? Because kind of the good thing for Baker Mayfield is there was this good situation, just the starting quarterback got injured. They didn't have a great backup. That's where he was able to go. Is there a similar situation here with Jones? I'm looking through the teams now. I can't really think of one. I mean, it seems like a lot of the teams that don't have great quarterback situations have young quarterbacks, and so I think the Raiders might be a team that would they be willing to pick up Daniel Jones to have him play for a few games, and you can get the tryout there. Perhaps that's probably the one. I think maybe Cleveland, although I think Jameis Winston, they feel okay about that. Maybe the Colts. Honestly, the Colts wouldn't be a crazy thing. Just playing this out, the Colts are 5-6. I do think it's weird because I don't think they want to move off of Richardson again after what had happened. I do wonder if Flacco was still starting, would they have added Jones and tried to get an upgrade there? I don't know. I think what probably happens is Jones ends up signing a backup deal with a good team. Maybe Miami is the one where they go out and they say, you know what, we'll pay you to a league minimum deal to be a backup. And I think Jones, for all his faults, should be a great backup. And I think he's going to be in the league for a while, just probably not as a $40 million a year starter. So it's interesting. It's, the end of an era for Jones, who got a ton of years with the Giants. Maybe not the most competitive rosters around him, and he'll always have that playoff win against Minnesota. But as a whole, it's probably the right move by both parties to move on and see if they can make something else happen. Interested in seeing what happens with Jones. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.